Hey guys, so I know I'm a little late with my end of the month little book reviews, but I've been sick ever since I got back from New York for Halloween, and I still have my purple hair. You can see when I do it like this. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I've been sick, so I'm sorry for this being late and stuff, but let's get right into it. So, the first book that I read in October was The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories. And this was part of my Halloween read list, and I liked it. It was like, it's a classic book. I never actually read this before, but I have seen cartoons and like little episodes and little movies and stuff about this. So I liked it, very classic. It wasn't really scary, just kind of interesting, I guess. So I would say borrow it maybe from your library. Okay, and the next book I got was Ireland Rose. I actually won this off of Goodreads, and I reviewed it for Patricia. And I really, really liked this book. It's a historical romance, so it wasn't part of my Halloween read list, but I really wanted to get this done and read it. So it was beautiful. It kind of was a really happy kind of read. It didn't put me in a sad place like a lot of my like dystopian novels do. So there was a lot of elements that I liked this. The writing was perfect. It's actually a pretty big book if you can see the font. It's kind of small. Wow, I'm retarded. So it's kind of small. And the pages are long, but it was still a really good book. And I would say if you like historical romance and you want something that will kind of put you in a good mood, I'd definitely give this a try. So buy this. Okay, and this is one of the last books that I read this month, and that is The Radleys. And I did like this book. I won this also off of Goodreads, but it was, it's a vampire book, so it kind of had that element to it. It was obviously a little bit interesting. It wasn't scary. It was just kind of like mysterious and things like that. It was a good vampire book, but wasn't the best one I've read. It wasn't that original, but it was still fun to read, and I did enjoy it. So if you want to give this a go, definitely borrow it. So yeah, I liked it. Okay, so the last book that I read this month was actually The Amityville Horror, and this is by far the scariest book I've ever read, and I kind of get freaked out with like ghost kind of stories, and this is kind of what it is. It's like a haunting. If you guys have never seen the movies are good, but the book is fantastic. It's really scary, especially if you're reading in the dark. Well, not in the dark because you need a light to read, but at night with just yourself on the couch and you're reading this. It's pretty small, so it's easy to get through, but it's just really creepy. So definitely buy this if you like scary books and you want something that will kind of keep you up at night. Okay, and another one I read this month was Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, and this is another classic kind of book. This is also a mysterious kind of novel. It's basically this group of people are in a castle, and one by one they're getting murdered. So the whole book you're trying to figure out who is killing these people. It can't be some outsider. It has to be one of these people in the castle. So throughout the whole book you're trying to figure out who's like doing the killing, who's going to be next kind of thing. And it's just really fun, and I like it a lot. It's really interesting. So definitely buy this if you haven't read it or haven't even, heard of it. It's really good and very mysterious. So I like that too. And I believe Family Guy did a spoof off of that book. So yeah. So the next book I read was The Knife of Never Letting Go. And I really, 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 really like this book. This was probably one of my favorites for the month. The writing is a little something you have to get used to at the beginning. It's kind of frustrating, but when you read more, like you get about like maybe halfway, I want to say, it just picks up, and the pace is crazy. There's always something going on, and the writing style really grows on you. It's frustrating at first, but it's fantastic. I love it. I'm definitely going to give the second book a try after reading this fantastic book. This is a dystopian novel, post-apocalyptic kind of thing. So I definitely like this a lot. It was, one thing I have to say though, it's for ages 14 and up. That's crazy, because this book was kind of violent and it had some elements that were kind of hard for me to understand, to be honest, and the writing at first was kind of difficult to understand as well. So 14 and up, I mean, I guess that's a really smart 14-year-old, or like their parents are okay with them reading a really violent book. I don't know. I would think that this should be like 16 or 15, not 14. But yeah, I liked it a lot. Definitely one of my favorites for the month. So glad I read this. It's a big book, but I blew through it. Loved it. Okay, so the next one I read was Anna Dressed in Blood, and I did a short little video of this book, the one before this one, and I liked it. It has the paranormal aspect in it. It's a series, I believe this is the first book in the series, and it was just really fun. It was very like kind of creepy. It was like, you know, had ghosts in it and stuff. I just really liked it, so definitely buy this one. Yeah, I'm having a good book month, huh? So, alright, next book was Lola and the Boy Next Door, and I loved Anna and the French Kiss. That was a great book. I didn't think it was going to be, and I'm trying to convince my friends to read it because she's kind of scared about the cover, and I told her, just read it. I know it's kind of cheesy, it looks cheesy, but it's not. It's really good. So this is the companion novel to Anna and the French Kiss, so Lola and the Boy Next Door. And I like this one as well. I didn't like it as much as Anna and the French Kiss, but I still really liked it, and I was completely happy that I bought it. Well worth the money. So if you have read Anna and the French Kiss, definitely buy this one. It's worth the money. I loved it. It was great. I can't wait for the last one for companions. Alright, so I am so happy and so sad to be done this series, but it was a phenomenal series, especially for a dystopian novel. I'm very picky with dystopian novels. You guys will understand that because I expect a lot from them. And one of my favorite ones now is definitely the Maze Runner trilogy. This is the last book, The Death Cure. Oh, sorry, eye itchy. So this is the last book, The Death Cure, and it was great. I loved it. I have the first two books. I can't get enough of this series. It's just so fast-paced, constantly asking questions in every single page. Like, you don't know what's going on, what's going to happen, how that book is going to end, and it was just perfect. I loved it. Ah, I'm so happy. So if you haven't read The Maze Runner, go check that out, because this is the third book, and I'm not really going to say much about what it is, but it is the last and final book in that series. So there is The Maze Runner, The Scorched Trials, and The Death Cure. I loved it. I read this in a day. Like, come on. And, I mean, it's not like a really small or big book or anything, but it's just such a great series. If you haven't read it, go read The Maze Runner. Alright, so the last books that I read this month were my favorite reads of the month, and that's pretty tough to say because I did like this book a lot. But obviously they're kind of a different kind of thing. Like, this is dystopian and these books are romance, but still, I love these a lot. And you guys have seen a book discussion video thing of these, and that is Waterfall, Cascade, and Torrent. And yes, I did read these all in the month. I read these basically in 4 days. I do work full-time. Oh, my leg's numb. Do work full-time. I do hang out with friends. It's not like I don't do anything. I just read all the time. So I blew through these books. They were incredible. So if you haven't read them or haven't heard of them, definitely give the first one a try. It's Waterfall. It's amazing. Please check out these books. So those were all the books that I read this month. A lot of books. I'm not going to read that many in November. Let me show you. The book I'm reading currently is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and I'm not that far in. I'm like that far. I like it so far. It's really good. The paranormal aspect is really neat. Like, I'm pretty excited to keep reading it. So yeah, should have a book haul in a couple days, and I'll post more videos. And definitely check out my blog because I put a lot of book reviews and other random things in that. So definitely give that a look if you haven't already. And thank you for watching, guys. See you later. Bye.